All right, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Newsbaum, and we're here for another fantastic, amazing, unbelievable, whatever damn word you want to use to describe the show. I like them all. Episode of Construction Champions Podcast, where, as always, we're going to burn the house down so we can rebuild it. And for new listeners out there, I like to say this about once a month. So about every, what would that be? About every 8 or 10 episodes is we're not burning the house down because we pissed off the homeowner. The house is your life, your business, your relationships, whatever we need to burn down to rebuild, to make you into that champion that you're meant to be. That's what we're doing. And you guys aren't just tuning in on Mondays and Thursdays to hear from me. You're here to listen to our amazing guests and the input that they have around the construction industry in every aspect of your life. And today is no different. Austin, it is fantastic to have you here today.
Ron, that Friday afternoon energy that you just brought, it can't help but put a smile on your face, man.
Absolutely, man. The construction industry has been very good to me. I feel like if I'm going to do this podcast, like I should bring the energy. Like we should have some excitement. It just shouldn't be, here we are, another podcast, another day. Like I'm fired up. Like I
Let's
said
do it, man.
prior, this is one of my favorite things I get to do now. So let's dive in, man. Why don't you tell all the champions out there about yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Austin Hauser. So first of all, Ron, I appreciate you having me on here. I am Chief Brainiac, which is just a fancy word for CEO, over here at Base Coat Marketing. We are a full service digital marketing agency, but we're exclusive to the professional painting space. So we work with residential, commercial, and epoxy floor coating companies. And we've served this space since about 2008. We got our start working with some major franchises around the United States and Canada back around that time frame. So we've about 16 years in this industry, and so I talked to thousands of professional painters over the years, and on all sides of the construction space in terms of those that interact directly with GCs or the homeowners, B2B, B2C. So I definitely feel like I can hopefully bring some value to your audience today.
Absolutely, man. And I love that. I love when somebody has been where they're at and they have just such an understanding, because sometimes we look at things just too broad and you can never really have a full understanding. But saying like this is who we serve, this is why we serve it, like a lot of that's transferable to other areas, but like you get to really help people every day, and I love that. So we're going to dive right in there, and I'm going to ask the $1 million question, and that is, what makes a construction champion? Hey, construction champions, it's your host, Ron Newsbaum here, and I want to talk to you about how you can automate all of your marketing. We've had so many people on here talk about getting the systems in place. Well, we have partnered with Build 12 and Construction Champions podcast. Les O'Hara, the founder, what really excites me is his 30 years in the industry. And now he's built a system to be able to nurture your leads and continue to utilize that. I personally use the system myself. Build 12 is absolutely amazing. There's a lot of value in there, and it's a way to start getting away from Angie's List and all of that kind of stuff and start actually creating your own leads every day and have a system for them. So go on our website, check out the show notes, go check out Build 12 and what it can do for the front end of your business today. It's absolutely amazing. I highly recommend going and meeting with Les and his son, Devin, and talking to him about what they built for their own business so the rest of the industry can take benefit from that. Here on Construction Champions, we're all about helping each other out. And what is better than contractors helping contractors? I say nothing. So let's go take this to the next level. Go check out Build 12. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or Les or his son, Devin. We're here to help. We want to continue to grow the industry.
All right. So, Ron, you probably don't know this about me, but I invest a lot into mindset and personal growth. And I always say like 90 to 95% of your success does not come from the hard skills. It comes from the mindset that you go into whatever you're going to do.
Hmm.
Business is a spiritual game, and it's going to test you in all aspects of your life, your relationships, your mind, your body. And I really look at those that succeed in business the most are those that are the most curious, and those are that are open to being coached, right? Those that go into a room and think that they are the smartest person in the room are likely not to succeed, right? And it's because like, I don't know about you, but anytime I'm in a room and I'm the smartest guy, I'm in the wrong room. I want to be the dumbest guy in that room, right?
Get
And
out
it's
of
just
that
not
room
asking
as
the right
fast as
question.
possible.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So I'm a firm believer of mindset over hard skills. You can learn anything you want to learn, but if you don't have the right mindset going into that, you're gonna be, on a hard path.
I love that because, when I got into construction back in 2010, everybody around me had construction management degrees. I had never worked in construction, but I understood that with my mindset and the what I understood, I could run circles around everybody. All I needed to do was learn construction. And I just dove into understanding it as at the most fundamental level because I understood once I understood that is I can go learn all this other stuff. I can continue to build on the mindset that I already have. And I think a lot of times it's opposite because a lot of the reason I was able to run circles around everybody was because they felt like they already understood all of it and they had a mindset. They had the education. They had a trajectory in their mind, but they weren't prepared for somebody to just show up and work their ass off and continue to learn. And then at the same time, have this growth mindset that they're just going to get better and better and better at every aspect. And what you're talking about is something that's missing in the construction industry.
I mean, look, I think it's missing in every industry and every type of business. And that is, you go into business and, you're making money, you're providing value, hopefully, and you're making money on the other side of that. And then you run into things like problems, which we call them here opportunities to learn.
Mm.
It's the language that you use that really dictates, the outcome. And, and then you start running into pissed off clients and then competition, and then the money isn't always what you're in it for, right? And then the goalpost starts to move. And then you wonder, why am I even doing this? Is this the right path that I'm on? And then you start to question, is it the path or is it my ability to lead a team? And so what I'm getting at is, there's a constant evolution as a business owner that you have to go through. And everybody goes through a slightly different journey and a slightly different path, given that we're all kind of starting from a different starting point. And I'm a big proponent of daily routines, which I'd be more than happy to dive into. But, believing that you can and that you deserve it, I think are two really important things that a business owner, can fall into that mindset of, am I good enough? Am I the smartest guy? The confidence behind that really starts to take a toll, right?
Yeah, no, I love that. And I would love to dive into the routines thing because I think inherently we have a lot of routines. Like we show, but I think they're the wrong routines, especially in business and in construction, is we show up and we get the stuff ready and then we go to the gas station and like the routines are all wrong. We're not setting ourselves up for success. We have the foundation of just do the same thing over and over, but we're doing the wrong things over and over. So I would love to dive into that because I think that will help a lot of guys start to get clarity around that.
Yeah. So, all right, just to give you a little overview, I have a team of 30 that I serve today. We have over 100 clients throughout the United States and Canada. And our only objective, like our main mission statement, is we just help others succeed. And in order to help others succeed, you have to be succeeding in your own life, right? I invest in personal coaching, professional coaching. I don't know why more business owners don't. And if we look at, any professional athlete, you think, Michael Jordan or Tom Brady or, Tiger Woods, that they've made it to the pros without some sort of a coach along the way. No, they all invest in coaching. So I invest literally like a six-figure salary annually into coaching, not only for myself, but for my team. And I'm beating around the bush to answer this question here because I've learned everything I'm about to tell you from other people who are much smarter than I am, who have, walked that hard path and helped me avoid those roadblocks. I think everybody deserves a coach, personally and professionally, whether you want to call it a therapist or a coach, whatever, they are there to help you. So I learned my daily routine, actually relatively recently, a few years ago, from a good friend of mine now, still a business consultant, but I was literally just talking to him today for about an hour on the phone. His name's Chris Martinez, and he's like, I consider him my personal Yoda. Like anytime I got a problem in my life, I just call him up. He's got some story that just brings me back down to earth. And it's those type of coaches that are just, they help you excel in life. But he taught me about this routine. He calls it the core four. I'm sure it came from somebody else prior to him. We're all standing on the shoulders of others. And it's about how you start your day that really matters. I wake up early, 4:30 in the morning, and you don't necessarily need to do that. That's just where I start my day. And I have a routine, and I call it a standard because a routine sounds like a pain in the ass, whereas like a standard is something that like you got to brush your teeth every day. Like I like to drink coffee. If I don't do my standard every day, then I feel like something's missing. Um, and it starts with getting in a very cold body of water. We have a cold plunge at our house. So for any of those that do cold plunge, ice bath, whatever you want to call it, it's about 47 degrees. And I brush my teeth, still shivering in the morning because you get out of bed and your body's still all nice and toasty. I go put my ass in that cold body of water for about 4 to 5 minutes. And if you want to wake up pretty quick, it's the best way to do it. From there, I typically will you jump in the sauna or go do a workout. But the bottom line is I'm focusing on my body. I'm focusing on my body first, and then I meditate. I stretch and then I meditate. The best time to meditate is after a workout. I swear by it. If you guys think it's like guru shit, so be it. But when you're still sweating, your blood pressure is starting to come down, sitting on the floor, guided meditation. There's a few apps out there for that. Highly recommend it. Just it's very interesting how hard it is to shut off your brain for just a few minutes, right? From there, I spend time with my family in the morning. I got two boys, they're 8 and 5, my wife. And I spend, an hour in the morning just getting them ready for work and school, and then I get to work. So if you look at the order of operations there, I focus on my body, my mind, my relationships, and the business comes last. Because if you have the business last, it will fall into place. There's nothing that can go wrong in that day that's going to prevent me from getting my heart rate up, from focusing on myself and my family. Whatever happens in that day, I know I've already knocked out a few wins. My mindset, right? I'm awake. I'm going to be able to tackle that day with aggression. And that standard I've set for myself, it was not did not come easy. Waking up those first couple of days was difficult, but I do it every single day. There's no other option.
I love it, man. And I'm the cord plunge, I think, is one of the best investments people you can possibly make. It is not just a game changer, it's a life changer. And yeah, I think if you haven't cord plunged, you should be, especially in this industry. Like, come on, guys. Like it does so much for your body and how you feel. Uh I mean, I'm sure now we got two guys on here that are 100% in on this. So, uh, one of the absolute best ways to start your day is to get up
Look,
and go do something super hard.
yeah, it's right. It's hard. And a lot of people are like, what are the physical benefits? Like, yeah, it transforms fat and, it helps with, joint pain and, inflammation and recovery. But man, I look at it from a mental aspect.
Yes.
Like, if you put your mind and your body through that much pain and stress in the morning, I don't care if how pissed off a client is at the end of the day. I've already stressed out my body. I'm good, Like it is a mental challenge.
Well, it gives you an edge, and I think we really overlook stuff that does that. Just a mental edge of like you said, it does not matter what happens at 6:10 when you get out of that cold plunge and move on. Like there is nothing throughout that day that's going to be mentally harder than getting your ass in a 47-degree. And I don't care how many times you've done it.
Oh,
It's
it
you
sucks.
mentally have to say, I'm getting in there and I'm doing this because like if I don't, I'm a bitch. Like that's what it comes down to.
I have an affirmation that I tell myself every time I step in that water. Because when you first step in, it sucks. When you sit down, it sucks even worse. And I just tell myself there's no negotiations. I'm not going to negotiate with that little thing in the back of my mind that says, you know what? It's okay to sleep in a little bit this morning. It's nice and coddling and it feels good to listen to it. But it's that devil on your shoulder that's ultimately going to make you not succeed.
Mm. Yeah, and that's what we're disrupt the standards because as we build these out, they're intentionally, like you can tell, is like you do hardest stuff first and move into the easiest stuff. Our bodies, our minds are going to tell us, oh, we can skip that and then like let's go directly to the family stuff. But what ends up happening is we end up skipping everything and just going to the work. And then that day, nothing's right the entire day. And it's exactly what you're talking about is you're not knocking the stuff out that matters the most.
Yeah. And I think the thing that really changed my life was prioritizing the morning. Because how many times do you anticipate on working out in the afternoon and then pissed off client happens or your team member decides to quit, spontaneously or whatever comes up during the day. You hit traffic, you get home and you're tired and you're like, all right, I'll just do it tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes. It needs to happen in the morning. It's the only time of the day that I consider mine. So just for instance, I have for anybody who has an iPhone, I have you can set in your settings, it's called screen time, and you can lock down all the apps on your phone that don't serve you after, let's say, 8 p.m., which is whenever I go to bed. And um, the benefit of that is like I have no ability to touch social media. I have no ability to, go try to read a book on my phone. It is just me and my select few apps that maybe help me go to sleep, podcasts and stuff like that. From there, I wake up in the morning and I'm not my screen time is still on. I can't check my email. I have no ability to go on social media yet. My alarm goes off 4:30. My phone, I just put it on the side or I maybe bring it down if I'm taking notes about my workout that day. But my phone, I don't check my email until 8:30 each day. I mean, like you need to distance yourself and claim those hours in the morning to start off your day right.
Mm. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. Are you on grayscale on your phone?
Yes, I turn
Dude,
grayscale on at 8 p.m. as well. It's a game changer.
man, I'll tell you, I don't spend a lot of time on my phone. Just like it's intentional. Like we're
Yeah,
intentional with this stuff. But I'll tell you what, my eyes within 2 days of being on gray, and I just have mine on grayscale 24/7,
interesting.
and it's like I used to think like, oh man, like I'm just whatever, and it immediately went away. And like I said,
Hmm.
I'm not spending a ton of time on my phone, but just that change. My wife hates it. She finds it to be the absolute most miserable thing. My son doesn't like it either. Like he's like, I don't want anything to do with dad's phone. But I think that tells a lot of how much just those colors have in holding our ability to just be on there.
Yes.
For me, it was like I said, like my eyes I felt like a new person after just a couple of days of having my phone on grayscale.
I mean, it makes your apps uninteresting. So like if you think about social media, you're on your apps and you're like, yeah, that cute puppy picture doesn't look so cute anymore because I don't know what color it is, It just makes it less, it makes it more dull. And that's the point, like I wish honestly I could have grayscale on all day with what we do and the social media that we run and the ads I need to verify and
Yeah, that would be a problem.
yeah, so it's but man, after I think I actually might turn on as soon as work is over around 6 or 7. But yeah, that just totally makes you disinterested in your phone. And at the end of the day, this device is an addiction, right? And I think a lot of
Mhm.
people in our country don't realize that it's no different than a cigarette or alcohol. It's an addiction. And we like if you add up how much time you spend on your phone, you're literally just wasting your life away scrolling. Like if you sit in your living room and you got kids on their phone, your wife's on her phone, and you're on yours, what are you doing? Like turn that shit off, go put it in a safe somewhere, eat your family dinner together, have a conversation. Yes, it'll probably be painful the first couple times when everybody's thinking about their phone, but you need to live your life. The device is not where it lives.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I wouldn't recommend doing any shopping for pretty much anything in grayscale because that that can get interesting real
Touche.
quick. Because I almost ordered something and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to send you this link. Let me look at this real quick." And let's just say I'm glad I didn't just order it because it would have never came into application when you can't see the actual colors and stuff. But the
Right, right.
dinner thing is very important and it's not as painful as people think because at the end of the day, our spouses, our kids, like people want to have conversations and like so we made that a thing. So I'm gonna say about 7 months ago, we made it a thing that we eat dinner at the table. And
Yeah.
how this came about is I'm inherently a stander. Like I just stand to do everything. I'm actually gonna change my desk back to standing. I've had it down where I'm sitting for like 3 months now, and it's driving me crazy. But I would stand and eat, and my 6-year-old son started standing to eat. And I was like, all right, hold on a minute. Like, I understand, like, this like we have to correct this. So we just made the decision we would sit down and eat dinner at the table together and sometimes we'll have a show on that we're all watching or when my kids in school we're talking about the day at school and it's been amazing. Everybody eats the camaraderie. It just creates a better family environment that you can control.
Totally. It's so important. And my kids being as young as they are, 8 and 5, I see where technology is heading, and I don't think it's a healthy end result, right? Like, I don't know about you, man, but I feel pretty good about growing up in the era that we did, where all the shit we got away with and there's no evidence of it online.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's a different world out there today. You do one thing wrong, and that's your entire life down the drain, right? So, I think it's really important that we introduce technology to the youth, but we train them on the good and the bad aspects of it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's I think across the board, even not just with younger generations, just as you start to bring, because like what we're talking about right now is like that's what a lot of people were saying. It was like the kids and the technology, and there's no looking in the mirror. Like we had a conversation about what it looks like for us, so people can kind of probably fathom what it looks like a little bit for our kids from that. But we have people that like you said, are just scrolling away their life, and their kids are doing the exact same thing. But like we weren't at our age, we weren't at their age, we weren't doing that. So like, what's the repercussions of that? What does that look like from a trajectory standpoint? Because my wife, my kid's home from school on summer vacation. She tries to get him outside every day, like rain or shine. Like let's get outside for a few hours. They went to the beach for a few hours. Yes, would go in the backyard, whatever that looks like, to not just be sitting in the house.
Yeah.
And you have to intentionally do this stuff because, like you said, this stuff will get away from you. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't happen unless you're intentional about it.
And look, I mean, I always tell my kids, like, go play with sticks. Like, I don't know, it's okay to be bored, like it's I think that's where we're in this high octane, like never ending content stream of like, I need a little dopamine boost and another one and another one. And again, it creates an addiction. And what you're doing is you're sacrificing all of the opportunities you could be learning. And again, we learn by failing. It's the same way that like Elon Musk goes and shoots rockets up into the air, knowing with 100% certainty they're going to explode, but he's going to learn a shitload from that, right? And I think we all need to have the same mindset going into not only our professional, but our personal life is like, hey guys, it's okay to be bored. Let's learn along the way and let's enjoy this life. Like, this is a big opportunity we have to go make an impact. And I don't know, man. I don't know about you, but I wake up every day excited to learn. Like, I've been asked several times, like, why, like, what gets you excited? What gets you motivated? And again, I think it just goes back to what I originally said is you need to be curious, like be coachable, be aggressive in the never-ending ability that we've been gifted by being Americans to be able to go learn on our own pace and whatever we want to learn at any time in your life. I mean, I can't think of a bigger opportunity that's been handed to us here.
Yeah, and I mean, like you just said, like it's an infinity opportunity. Like you can always learn. The guys at the absolute top of the game, like you said, Elon Musk, he's just learning at a different level than
Yeah.
we can even fathom. But like you don't get there without having a willingness to continue to learn. And it's when we get to the point where we just feel like we just know everything that we start to regress because there's other stuff that's continuing to grow, continuing to whatever. And in my mind, you're either moving forward and learning or you're falling behind. Like there's no just staying stagnant. Like that's not an option in today's world. You're either doing one of the two.
That's the capitalistic society we live in, man. If you're not growing, you're dying. There's no neutral, right? And I think where a lot, I mean, I don't know about you, but where I see a lot of business owners fail is they're afraid to fail. And like they're afraid to damage a reputation or whatever that is, like whatever their limiting belief is. And it the what they don't realize is how much opportunity they're giving up by looking at others. I think this is also maybe a downfall of our society is we love to prop up the winners and not really look at what it took to get there. I
Mm.
think most of what we see as far as success goes in our society is like an iceberg. We see just a little top of that, but not the nights of crying in a closet alone and unsure when you're going to be able to feed your family or if you have to fire somebody on your team. Like everybody goes through that at different levels and everybody has a different risk tolerance. In my experience, what allows you to really expand that risk tolerance is simply by growing. The more you understand, the more you learn, the more curious you can possibly be, the more successful you're going to be both in life and in business.
And so you're touching on a subject that about daily, me and my wife were having a conversation around that because that's what people see is what's out in social media. And I'm like, think about those emotions that you've felt before. Think about the stuff that person there went through the same shit. Like unless there's some fake whatever, if it's anybody that's built anything tangible, and we all know who those people are because you can tell they're they went through the same stuff. Like it just wasn't all of a sudden, boom, bada bang, here they are. Like they did. I think the Hormozy story is one of the most fantastic because he openly
Oh, yeah.
shares it.
Mhm.
And like people would say he's an overnight whatever, but go read like this dude has been on the roller coaster from day one, and the emotion like he's felt these emotions 10 times. Like, but that's not what people see, and that's not what they believe because the thing is they don't want to believe that because if they do, they understand they're the problem. If they
Totally.
just say, hey, overnight success. It just happened to work out. Luck hit him right. They don't have to take personal accountability, and that's not being a champion. That's wrong. Like we have to take accountability. Is that we can all be that. We just have to make the decision to continue every day to get better.
Yeah. I'm actually going to see Alex and his wife next month at their new headquarters in Vegas. So I'm pretty excited about that. Um,
Awesome.
but I mean, he literally just posted a picture on social media the other day from 7 years ago when him and his wife were sitting in a car in front of a dry cleaner getting their laundry done, eating like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And he's like, this is 7 years ago. Like they're on track to have $1 billion enterprise right now. Like
Mhm.
but like, how much work they put in, right? And that's what he's told us. I'm sure it's been even harder than that. But I mean, yeah, it's social media is so fake, man. Like anytime somebody posts stuff out there, it's the good in the life. They don't talk about the negative. And I think that's where we've gone into this society of like, I can only succeed, and that's not how life works. Like I love to use the analogy of a video game. Like think about these, like, I don't know, I don't play video games that often, but anytime like my youngest would be like playing like a first person shooter game I inevitably get shot by some 8-year-old, like sniped from across the battlefield, right? And he's laughing, and I'm like, okay, but in context, it's because that 8-year-old has spent the last, 4 years every single day playing this video game, and he's died thousands of times. I come in on Christmas morning and decide to try to shoot some kids, and I die immediately, right? It's because they've had more practice.
Well,
I think if
I
you look,
think I think one thing that everybody is like NCAA 25 just came out, and it's been like over a decade, what, 11, 12 years.
yeah, yep,
And like one of the memes I saw about it was like all these dudes that played NCAA over a decade ago are about ready to get their ass kicked by a bunch of 8, 10-year-olds that have been playing Madden ever since they were born. And
yep,
I'm like, that is so true. Like
yeah.
because that's like no one, you take a decade off of something and then you jump back in and you just suck.
If you look at the statistics around basketball players and their 3-point shots and free throws, the top 1% of basketball players out there, the exact statistic escaped me, but it's something like 99.9% of all of the shots they've taken in their entire career have been practice shots, right? And it's that iceberg that you don't see below the surface, that they've been coached, they've trained, they've practiced, and they've failed. I look at sport, that I love to compare business to sports because it's just so relatable, but people don't look at it the same. Like, a team fails, they lose a game, everybody, they're mad at them. Can you imagine like being Tom Brady and walking off the field and being mad and then letting that drag you down for the entire season? Like, no, you get over that shit. You go back in, you put your shoes on, you lace up, and you go out there and you attack the following day. And
Hmm.
it's the same way in business. You can't let the little challenges override you. You have to take that in stride, learn from it, grow, teach your team, and move on, right?
100%, man. Absolutely. I love it. I feel like we could just stand here and talk about this all day long. Like this has been a fantastic conversation, man. I love it. For all the champions out there listening, if they wanted to connect with you, follow you, learn more about what you do, what's the best places for them to do that?
Yeah, so I'm on social media, but if you guys ever want to go to basecoatmarketing.com, we're pretty active in the professional painting space. If you are a contractor and you earn 80% of your revenue in the painting world, we can help you. And if we can't help you, please reach out to me directly. Again, my name is Austin Hauser. I'm out there. I'd be happy to put you in touch with other professional marketing agencies that can. If your marketing agency is not a partner of yours, then they're just a service provider. Go find a partner. We like to say we don't work for our clients, we work with them. And that takes a lot of time to get to know them, their message. Your business is just a reflection of you. So if your agency is not getting to know you personally, again, go find a new agency. But yeah, Ron, I appreciate you having me on today. This has been fun, man.
Oh man, it's been awesome. And thank you for taking the time to be on the show today.
Always.
All right, construction champions, another episode in the bag where we talked about a lot of the stuff I love, personal development, continuing to just chase greatness. That's what we're here to do. That's why we have this podcast, is to have these conversations. We come on here and we talk about construction and stuff all the time, business, new technologies. And to see, this is my favorite conversation because what I realized was once I started to get my body and my mind and my family and all of that stuff right, it was like unlocking a superpower. When Austin talks about getting all this shit knocked out before his day even starts, it is. It's a superpower because in other people, in your competition's mind, they're out there still worried about what's going on at home, or can I make it to the gym later? If they're even worried about going to the gym, they haven't even done anything hard. Think about that. If you can knock all of that stuff out before you even walk into your office, it's a superpower. It gives you an ability to just be able to focus on what matters in the moment. And the moment is growing your business, growing your people around you, setting them up for success. it's not easy. I almost said it's that easy because it really, in theory, it is. It's easy, but it's the application of it that's hard. And that's what separates everybody's. We can have these conversations. We can do all of this. You can listen to this and digest it. But the sad part is that 1% of the people listening will actually apply this and take accountability and go do it. And they're the ones that would dominate. They're the ones that we've had back on this show as guests that have taken stuff they've learned and went and actually applied it and completely changed their business. That can be you. You can set yourself up to have a superpower. And what I found absolutely amazing about this episode is that Austin is in the business of marketing and getting people to look at their phones and all of this stuff. And then here he is. He does whatever he can to stay away from it when he's not working. Think about that. Like, his profession is to get people to click on stuff and come do business with your painting company. But when he's not working, he just tune all that stuff out. That's amazing. And that's how it should be, because there's other things in life that matter. So champions, make sure you go out, you check out all of our fantastic sponsors. And until next time, be the champion you're meant to be.
Introducing BuilderComms, the future of construction management. Built by industry veterans, our platform simplifies your workflows and boosts efficiency. From field operations to leadership, we've covered it all to help you sleep better and enhance your projects. With BuilderComms, expect reduced errors, save time, and exceptional outcomes. Join the thousands of builders and contractors revolutionizing their processes and achieving greatness. Discover more about us at buildercomms.com.
Introducing BuilderComms, your all-in-one construction communication software. Say goodbye to communication mishaps that cause frustration among builders, contractors, and clients. The BuilderComms platform unifies communications, making it easy for you to chat, share updates, and collaborate effectively in one place. Experience the transformation in construction project management with BuilderComms. Visit us at buildercomms.com to learn more and start streamlining your projects today.